Hi everybody, this is Natasha Wilkinson, your independent Scentsy consultant from Mount Isa, Australia. So, if you've been watching other consultants on YouTube lately, there has been kind of, I'm not going to say round robin, but Elizabeth from Elizabeth Scents and Scenes started a round of something called Best of the Best Scents, and it has been followed through by a couple of other consultants in the YouTube community. I thought I would follow on and tell you my favorite scents. Now, I have gone with probably the longer category that Melissa added things to because I'm a categorizer. I love the fact that she added these extra categories in because it's so me too. I will warm certain scents for certain occasions and it helps me categorize. I have a massive Scentsy club and I love a lot of scents. So I love the fact she did this bigger category, so I'm going to go through with the bigger category. I am going to take out though July the 4th and Thanksgiving because here in Australia we do not celebrate those particular holidays. I'm adding Australia Day though in place of July the 4th because here in Australia we celebrate Australia Day. So just so you know where I'm going when it comes to those two particular holidays. So let's start, shall we? So I am going to start off with citrus. My number one favorite scent in the citrus family is Be Fabulous. I do have a bar coming. I purchased a 10-pack with the last 10-pack bar special we had for Fragrance Week, and I believe I have a bar coming in that 10-pack. Now, the reason I chose Be Fabulous is before I became a consultant in February of 2020, and when I joined up I was very much a candle home fragrance girl, but I was very specific about what type of scents I would melt. And very basic. I would melt in summer either a rose or a jasmine scent. In winter I would warm either just a basic caramel or a basic vanilla scent, and at Christmas time I would warm something with a little bit of cinnamon in it. That was kind of my go-to wheelhouse of scent preference, so to speak. And then I joined up to Scentsy, and Be Fabulous was in February 2020. So I was still kind of picking and choosing scents at that stage from the catalogue based on, I guess, those basic scents as per the season of the catalogue. And when I first got my catalogue, I didn't even look at the citrus scents. I was never a fan of citrus scents. In fact, I would probably go out of my way to say I really disliked citrus scents. And so I kind of had the impression that I'm never going to enjoy citrus scents. Citrus is just a category I'm going to stay away from. So from March to April 2020, I just had that thought in my mind. And at that stage, I wasn't purchasing the Consultant Scent of the Month kits. I was purchasing, though, every month the whiff box. And in the whiff box every month, you would get, as well as a sneak sample of next month's scent of the month, your current scent of the month. And I don't think I purchased March's whiff box because I think that was just a pet only whiff box at that stage, if memory serves me correct. And with 2 outdoor dogs, I really thought I wasn't going to use the pet products, so I skipped March's whiff box, so I didn't get the scent sample of what would be April's scent of the month. But then I got April's whiff box, and I got my bar of Be Fabulous in it. And when I smelt this, mind blown, mind changed about what I had always thought citrus scents were. I'd always just assumed they were tart and like a cleaner type scent, I think is what my mind kind of gravitated towards too. But this isn't that at all. It's got a fresh limoncello scent in it. It's got that grapefruit scent in it, and then it's got a sugared musk in it. This is very, to me, comes across almost fruity, but it's very vibrant, it's fun, and it's really bright. And I love the fact that it performs well in an open concept area. It will come out of the gate rushing like a racehorse, as I've said. The only thing that I would have against this scent is that I get a day out of it, and then it just kind of fizzles out as fast as it comes out strong. But while it's performing, it's fantastic. It's uplifting, as I said. Puts me in a happy mood every time I warm this scent. So that's why that would be my number one citrus scent, and it does go into my club every time it retires because I don't want to be without that scent. The next one I am going to talk about, which would be my second favorite, is Cocoa Lime. So this is another citrus scent that helped change my mind basically about citrus and made me realize citrus scents aren't something that I'm always going to hate. This is a fresh, bright, vibrant lime with just that little bit of creaminess and softness from the coconut. This for me is probably more of a mixer than anything else. It mixes so well with fruity scents. It mixes so well with tropical scents. You can create a bright summery cocktail with it. It covers up nasty food odors, nasty smells because it is strong. I don't generally keep it in my warmers the full burning cycle because I do find, for me personally, the coconut wears off before the lime, and then when it's just the lime I find it very astringent, and I think that's why I like to mix it with fruity scents to get more longevity out of this. But that would definitely be my second favorite citrus scent. And my honorable mention, I was trying to decide whether to use this as the honorable mention or the new lemon cake scent that came in the Easter pack lemon drizzle cake. But I went with this for an honorable mention because it is more citrus than bakery, is Squeeze the Day. So this is a very bright, fresh, cleansing lemon, again, really good at sprigging up the house, cleaning the house, but it's also got that sweetness of cream in it. And for me, in summer, when I'm looking for something bakery, but I don't want a heavy bakery, I'll tend to take something like Squeeze the Day and then mix it with a cake or sugar note. So again, really great mixer. So they're my favorite citrus scents. So let's talk about fruity summer. So fruity summer scents, my all-time favorite, February scent of the month 2020. It then became a catalogue item in our autumn winter catalogue 2021, retired for the spring summer catalogue, but has come back here in Australia for our autumn winter catalogue 2022. It goes into my Scentsy club every time. It's basically not a catalogue item, and it goes in my Scentsy club in multiples. Strawberry Rose. So this is beautiful. I get the rich, ripe, succulent strawberry off a vine. But then there's this almost creamy, slightly sweeter note behind it, which is I think what the rose is. I don't smell rose per se, but I do smell this creamy, sweeter scent, which I think kind of is the rose helping to meld with this. Absolutely love this scent. Scentsy Club worthy, definitely. And I actually wouldn't even call this fruity summer. This is bright enough and deep enough I could warm in summer, but I also warm it through winter. It's just an all year round scent for me, strawberry roses. I cannot live without it. One that is summer for me. In summer, when it comes to fruity scents, I'm drawn to tropical, a lot of the tropical fruity scents, and that is Pina Colada Cha Cha. So this was a Bring Back My Bar here in Australia, and it's in my Scentsy Club. So this smells like a Pina Colada Cha Cha. You get that fresh tropical mango, not mango, pineapple, sorry. You get that fresh tropical pineapple, that coconut. Reminds me of sitting on the beach with a tropical cocktail and enjoying myself. Absolutely love it. And then I am giving an honourable mention to, now this comes in our autumn winter catalogue, but to me I only warm it in summer, so that's why I've kind of classified it as fruity summer. I can see why it would be more an autumn winter scent because it does have pomegranate in it. But my honourable mention is actually Dazzling Pomegranate. I'm not really the biggest fan of all pomegranate scents, but this one is bright and bubbly. It has this effervescent note about it, which just makes me want to smile when I warm this. It's very fruity. So that's my honourable mention for fruity summer. So let's talk floral. So floral for me is all about summer. I tend to enjoy floral more in summer than I do in winter, and I'm a floral lover. So some of these scents scream really floral, and I know that a lot of people would be probably backing away from these scents. Now, my number one scent, and it's always going to be my number one scent, is Lush Gardenia. So I agree with Melissa when she uses the words creamy and exotic. I don't get old lady floral. I get creamy and exotic. I get that fresh gardenia straight off the tree. But this is even more to me because as a favorite to me than just a creamy exotic floral. It's a total scent memory to me, and I think that's why it takes me to my happy place, and it's always going to be my favorite. I'm kicking myself I took this out of my Scentsy Club. I built up a stash and I'm like, I don't need it anymore. Take it out of the Scentsy Club. I think I've got like 2 or 3 left of this. I think I've only got 2 left, to be honest with you. And I've been hoarding them because I love it that much and because of the scent memory I associate with it. So, growing up, my grandmother's pride and joy was her garden. As you walked, she had a little mobile home surrounded by all her garden that she really loved. And as you walked up the front steps of her veranda, she had this massive double gardenia tree that you could smell. Walking up the steps, you could smell sitting in the lounge room, you could smell just off her kitchen area with the windows open. So this just reminds me of my grandmother, and it reminds me of that double gardenia tree. Absolutely love it. The next one was another one I kind of took out of my Scentsy Club in haste because I'd built up a stash and hadn't been warming them in a while. And and that is Peony Petals. So Peony Petals to me is just this sweet, I think it's got, oh, it's obviously got peony in it, but I think it's also got like rose petals in it as well. But again, it's not something that I particularly smell rose. I just smell this really beautiful, sweet floral scent. Very bright and sweet floral for summer. Okay, so my honourable mention here, and I think this was March 2020 scent of the month from memory in Australia, which is a different scent of the month to what other regions got. And I'm down to my last two of this. So I ended up taking this out of my Scentsy club at some stage because I'd built up a stash. But again, it's one I only warm in summer and spring, so I thought I had enough. And then as you dwindle down to those last two, you think, why did you do that? So my honourable mention is Honeysuckle Pear. And I honestly don't think this one will ever come back. I really, really love it. But this is a very rich, sweet floral. That honeysuckle is kind of like a syrupy sweetness. Open concept worthy for sure, and it is strong. And I think a lot of people, to be honest, found this a little bit too rich, a little bit too floral, and a little bit too sweet, but it was right up my alley and one that I really, really did enjoy. And I must say, we don't get many honeysuckle scents here with Scentsy, particularly here in Australia. I don't know about other regions, but that was really different, even though it was really floral and really sweet and rich, really nice, and just something that we didn't normally get. So, fruity floral. Let's talk my favorite fruity floral scent. So, my number one fruity floral scent would have to be Here Come the Sunflowers. So this is sweet and bright floral, but then you get that extra little bit of pop of the fruit, and strawberry I think was in that as one of the fruits from memory. The next favorite fruity floral for me would have to be Plumeria Peach. This smells like a fresh peach, skin, pip and all, but then there's that sweetness added with the Plumeria. Really love this in the bedroom. In summertime, I really do enjoy it. And I'm going to give a honourable mention to a scent of the month here that was in Australia called Apple Blossom Breeze. So when I first got my scent of the month kit, and I've still got a fair few bars of this, because when I first got my scent of the month kit and warmed this in the clamshell, it smells beautiful. It's just this more fruity I think than floral, but then it's got like a sweet floral note behind it, and it smelled beautiful in the clamshell. But when I warmed it with the first bar, it didn't throw, and I was disappointed because I loved it so much in the clamshell. After 6 months of it curing in my little stash, I then rewarmed another bar in my daughter's room, and the performance was beautiful. So I think it needed that cure time for this one to really take full effect. I'm not going to say I would attempt to warm it in the open concept area. I think it would still need a smaller room to warm it, but I now know with the rest of the bars I have in my scent of the month kit, I can get that scent that I was envying in the clamshell but couldn't get warming. So the next one on my list is fruity winter scents. So where is my fruity? So my fruity winter scents, my number one fruity winter scent would have to be Wassail Wonderland. So in winter, I do reach for a lot of apple and spice scents, but then I kind of over apple and spice myself and over bakery myself, and then I want something fruity that isn't apple. And I find with Sour Wonderland is a really good compromise. It's probably the only time I would warm a citrus in winter would be something when it has spice to it. And because it has orange and it's got spice and then it's got a tree note, I find it's like just the perfect fruity winter scent, to be honest with you. Number 2 I've got here is vanilla blackberry. So that's a kind of another go away from in winter. What I'm trying to go away from, and I'm over appled and over spiced, is I will look for a deeper, richer berry like a plum or a blackberry. And this is really nice in winter in the bedroom. You've got that deep richness of the blackberry and then that softness of the vanilla. Really, really do enjoy that. And I've also got red berry and spruce. Again, this spruce is a lighter tree compared to a lot of the heavier trees like pine and fir needle. I find spruce comes across lighter to me. So you've got like this cooling effect from the woods and then the sweetness from the red berry. Really, really nice. So that's my honourable mention. So let's talk about my girly scents. Where's my girly scents? Where are my girly scents? Okay. I do apologise leaning over. I've got bars all the way across my bed here, and I'm trying to find what pile these little categories are in. So, girly scents. My number 1 girly scent has to be Cozy Cardigan. It's a staple in my bedroom and it's a staple in my household, and my husband even really likes this scent. It's one of the only scents he's probably commented on when I've been warming things. I've had him comment twice. Once when warming Cozy Cardigan that he really liked this, and once when I stuck a car bar in the car that he really liked the car bar scent, which I think was summer holidays, which I picked up in a flash sale at some stage. So they're the only 2 times he's ever actually commented that he's liked or hasn't liked a scent. So Cozy Cardigan to me has that musky perfume and the softness of the rose. Really, really loves it. Coming in a close second, which is another staple in my bedroom, is cashmere and corduroy. So to me, this is more of the deeper, darker, richer version of Cozy Cardigan. You still get that soft, cozy feel, but then you get the bergamot in this kind of adds a depth to that perfumey note. So that's another one that I really enjoy when it comes to girly scents. And my honourable mention is shimmer. So shimmer to me is another total scent memory. If any of you are ever familiar with The Body Shop, they used to run a body fragrance range called White Musk. And growing up, my friends and I, we envied anyone that got gifted White Musk from The Body Shop. We thought they were all flash and we thought they were all that, and we all wanted White Musk from The Body Shop. And every time I smell shimmer, I'm just brought back to White Musk in The Body Shop and my girl gang wanting White Musk from The Body Shop, basically. So let's talk about tropical beachy. So I've kind of done this in 2 sections because for me, honestly, tropical is different to beachy. They're certain things I find more tropical and certain scents I find more beachy. And I'm going to say right on the onset, I don't do salty sea air notes. I can't stand them, and that reminds me a lot of beachy. But there are a few scents that I thought were a little bit beachy that I do enjoy that aren't just salty sea air notes. But I'm going to start with my tropical first. So my number one tropical is hibiscus water. So here in Australia in 2020, so it was basically the summer collection, but when the summer collection gets released in Australia, it's the middle of our winter here. So even though they're the same scents that are available usually in region 1, region 2, it's not named the summer collection. They renamed the collection because we're in the middle of our winter. So the collection that year was renamed the Good Vibes collection, and this is in my Scentsy club, and it's probably one of the first bars that was ever put in my Scentsy club because it's just this beautiful mix of aquatic, fruity, floral, tropical. It's not the strongest performer. It's a great mixer. If you want a tropical something up, this is a great mixer for that. But it also works really well in smaller areas like a bathroom or laundry, giving that tropical, clean, aquatic vibe. My number 2 scent for tropical is Amazon Rain. So yes, I know I'm probably a bit boring going for like a staple catalogue scent year in, year out, but I absolutely love this scent. And I'm not going to lie, this is a staple in my laundry, a staple in my bathroom. I have mixed it with other scents in the open concept area, but I do kind of stick to smaller areas so I can really smell and really enjoy it. This has just the perfect mix of floral, citrus, coconut milk, and almost like aquatic note. And I haven't really found any other company that makes a scent like this. This is, I think, a very unique scent to Scentsy, honestly, and I really do enjoy it. So my honorable mention would be coconuts for tropical scents. So this is basically very tropical. It's a good performer in open concept areas. You get the coconut, you get that tiare flower, which is like a gardenia, and there is a little bit of a banana note that I can smell to it because there is meant to be banana in it, but I definitely get more just a tropical coconut tiare vibe when I do smell that. So going into the beachy segment of this tropical beachy segment, the 3 I've chosen to represent beachy. Light side of the Force, Star Wars. So that driftwood, so this is very aquatic, but that driftwood kind of gives a little bit of a salty sea air note, but not overly salty sea air that I'm not going to like. It's still got a sweetness about it. So that would be my number 1 beachy vibe. My number 2, which I can't open the tester, would be Make a Splash. So this is aquatic with a fruity melon note. And my number 3 beachy vibe, I have Palm Trees and Ocean Breeze. So you're getting that ocean shoreline, but you're also still kind of bringing that sweetness of the tropical back in. So let's talk cozy, and here's where I'm going to be deviating and be a little bit naughty. So I am going to admit, picked up a few scents that aren't available in Australia in Facebook destashes, and I don't really question whether she buys them off eBay or whether when I've brought these stashes, or whether she just has a region 1 consultant that she does swaps with, and then one she decides she doesn't like grows on Facebook, and so I do have, if you see come across a couple of these that I'm talking about that aren't available in my region, it's because I've picked them up a Facebook de-stash basically. So my number one cozy scent is Pacific Sandalwood, and I would say I'd have a bar, but my son and I fight over this scent. I get one come every month, so I basically get 3, but they're in quarter clubs, so I basically get 3 over a period of 3 months basically, and I still don't have enough. We're still out of Pacific Sandalwood being my number one cozy scent, because it is retired currently here in Australia. It comes out in our spring summer catalogue. So this is just that perfect cozy up to scent with a book. It's rich, it's warm, it's romantic. The creaminess in here and the vanilla in here to me comes off almost caramelesque or caramel-like to me, with that sandalwood and that. Really, really love it. It's also my son's favourite scent, which is why I probably got none in my stash at the moment. My number 2 one, as I said, not one that is available here in Australia, but that would be Winterberry Apple Tea. I do hope they bring this scent to Australia sometime. So I just find this really cozy up to a book too, and I did pick up that from a Facebook stash, so I am naughty, do have a bar that I really probably shouldn't have here in Australia, but it's for my own personal use and I'm going to enjoy it. So my honourable mention would be, and I don't have any left, but I picked these up in the clearance section a while back, and I'm kind of wishing I came across this scent before it hit the clearance section, so I had a chance to pop them in my Scentsy club, and that is Fuzzy Blanket. It's just this beautiful lavender cross honeysuckle scent. You can smell the sweetness of the honeysuckle, but then you've got that comforting warmth of the lavender. Absolutely amazing. So going into Fresh Laundry. And that's not Fresh Laundry. This is Fresh Laundry. So going into Fresh Laundry, my number one Fresh Laundry scent is Pink Cotton. I slept on this scent for so long, and the only reason I came across actually starting to buy bars and using them and realizing I loved this bar, when I smelled this on cold and got my consultant's tip, I admit I smelled it and I'm like, just a clean laundry scent, not in my wheelhouse. Plain, clean laundry scents are not in my wheelhouse. I just find them too stark with not enough sweetness. That's just me personally. And then I had my testers lent out to a lady that I was doing a party for. So she had some people at work she wanted to smell the testers that couldn't make the party, to see if they wanted to place orders. So I'm like, here, take my tester kit, let them smell the testers, gather orders from people that aren't coming to the party, and we can process it at the same time as your party to help with your basically hostess rewards and that. So we did all that, and then the party was in around Christmas time, which is the peak of our summer here in Australia, and our peak here in Mount Isa is 50 degrees plus Celsius. So just the short distance traveling with those testers to and from these areas started to melt some of the testers. And I'm going through my testers and I'm like, what is this amazing smell that I can smell. I have not smelt this. What am I missing out on? I'm missing out on something. Like, when I've smelt these testers, I've never smelt this, and you'd think I would pick it up. And then I realized, going through them and looking to find specifically what this beautiful clean berry smell was. As the tester started to melt, those other notes, those mid notes started to come through from pink cotton, and it just transformed the scent of pink cotton. And from then on I was hooked. I had to buy myself bars, I had to warm them, because this is a scent that basically transforms as it's warming and smells completely different to what it does on cold, and I am in love with it. So my number 2 scent in the fresh laundry is Jammy Time, and this is the one I will buy to basically wash all my bedding in and wash all my towels in. Jammy Time is the scent we wash our bedding and towels in, and then I alternate between all the other scents in the laundry for our clothes. So it's just, again, this beautiful lavender floral clean cotton scent, which I really adore. And my honorable mention, one that I really, really love to warm in my younger child's room, is 100 Acre Woods. So there's no lavender in this bar, but I do get lavender vibes. To me, it's like a freshly clean child. You've put their baby powder on, so you get that slightly baby powder-esque note, but you've opened up the windows, you've got the fresh air fluttering through in the breeze, you've got that clean sweetness almost in the air, and then there's just the slight florals, an outdoorsy clean scent fluttering through the window. So you're picking up just a slight note of floral from the flowers outside. Really, really do enjoy that scent. So let's talk Seaside. Now, I've only got 2 bars here and no tester for the third one, because one of them is no longer available and was a limited time only and no longer in my Scentsy club. So number 1 Seaside scent for me is Bonfire Beach. So you can almost smell that salty sea air spraying in your face when you smell Bonfire Beach, but there is that sweetness from the marshmallow, so it's not too salty sea for me, and it's actually quite enjoyable with that little bit of the smoky essence about it. My number 2 scent is Palm Beach and Breeze, which is in our laundry line as a laundry product now, but it was also from the Good Vibes collection 2020 summer collection, and it came out in a wax bar. I did end up taking it out of my club because there was so many beachy scents that I thought there were so many similar scents, but I did really enjoy that when it was around, and it's actually one of my favorite go-to laundry scents, believe it or not. And number 3 for Seaside, even though it's not really a sea smell, but it reminds me of the seaside, it reminds me of going to the beach, is from our new Island Days collection, and that is Sunshine and Tan Lines. This is basically a sun lotion smell. You smell the coconut, you smell that coconut banana sun lotion rubbing into someone as they're sitting on the beach. So that would be my honorable mention. So let's talk spring. If you see me reaching over, it's just because I'm trying to reach for my little piles here as we talk through them. So Number 1, Ursula. So for spring, I like fresh, but I don't like plain fresh, and I don't like salty sea fresh. I have to have a fruity sweet note or a floral sweet note with my fresh. So spring to me is all about fresh, and Ursula embodies all of that. You get that aquatic note to this, but there's a goji berry and other fruits in there that make it very fruity aquatic. The number 2 one I have here is watermelon and tangerine. So this is basically a watermelon scent. You smell that fresh juicy watermelon beckoning you in, wanting you to eat it and enjoy it through your spring. Number 3, I don't have a bar. It's due to come in my Scentsy club this month actually. Every time we get it in, I silly only put one in every 3 months, and every time we get it in, it gets warmed within the first week of us getting it in, and we have to wait 3 months to get another one. And that is Stitch. So Stitch is basically a tropical aquatic fruity scent. So let's talk. We are going to talk summer scents now. So summer scents for me. Number 1, Summer Moonlight. So that was a scent of the month here in Australia a few months back. So summer, I'm all about the florals, to be honest with you, and the fruits. And Summer Moonlight is that combination of floral and fruit, a little bit of sandalwood, so it just softens it up just that little bit. Really, really pretty. Number 2, I have Coastal Sunset. Really love to warm this in the bedroom in summer. Again, that sandalwood really gives it a softer vibe, but then that coconut just makes it summery and beautiful. And then I've got an honorable mention to Tangerine Creamsicle. So again, another citrus that I enjoy. Go figure. So, but this one, it has like a vanilla underbase to it to smooth it out and make it smell almost like a citrusy ice cream. But I really like to mix this with more vanilla and like sorbet type scents and create like this vibe of coming in off the beach into a fresh ice cream shop and smelling all those beautiful ice creams. So that's what I really like to do that with that over the summer months. So let's talk my bedroom scents. So they're hiding right up here. Of course they had to be hiding right at the other end of the bed. So bedroom scents. Number 1, Vanilla Oud. So there's just something about this scent. It's rich, it's comforting. You've got this deep perfumey note. Really, really love it. Number 2, Love Story. Again, very romantic, very perfumey, very warm, very comforting. Now there's so many I could go honorable mentions here. Cashmere Corduroy, Cozy Cardigan, Pacific Sandalwood. All of them are basically rotations for me in bedroom scents. So let's go bakery, shall we? Bakery, I have number 1 for me is Crumb Top. So this is basically another scent memory for me, to be honest with you, and it's why I'm probably drawn to it. I will warm this in my open concept area. It's not a heavy hitter in my open concept area. It's kind of more hum in the background for open concept area. but it is beautiful. It is beautiful as a mixer. It is beautiful by itself. By itself, it reminds me of Christmas time spent as a young child at when my father would take me to my grandmother's house. So my grandmother is Italian, or was Italian. She's passed away, and so is my grandfather. But I had an Italian grandmother and an English grandfather. And they basically eloped together, married together. So we'd go there for Christmas. Her numbers of grandchildren and children were by double digits. She would go to the stores and say she'd had something like 40 grandchildren. And so each Christmas, she lived next door to a daughter, and the verandas, you could open onto each other, their back verandas, so you could actually go across from one place to the other. Anyway, you'd go there for Christmas, and she'd spend days prepping and cooking for Christmas. She'd have every grandchild, every child, every person that went, and their partners and their children's children, basically. She'd have everyone's favourite meal home cooked for Christmas lunch. So it was a big, massive party there Christmas Day. You stuffed yourself. You were full as a goog. And then later that night, she would, because she'd stay the night there, or me and my father and my stepmother would stay the night there because it was a couple of hours drive back to where he lived. So we'd generally spend the night at my grandmother's there, and through the night she'd be like, lunch is long over, you're still stuffed, you're still full. She'd be telling you, lunch is long over. What can I go cook for you? Tell me what you want to eat. I will go into that kitchen and cook it for you. So she'd try to cook something else and feed you it. The next morning, you'd wake up and my grandfather would take over. So his job was fresh porridge straight off the stove. So you'd sit on the bench while he's boiling the porridge on the stove, and that's what I smell. I smell my grandfather's fresh porridge straight off the stove, and it just reminds me of basically Christmas time there. It's a happy memory, and this is always going to be in my Scentsy club. My son, when he smells this, he smells apple pie, and I quite often mix this with something like apple butter frosting, because to him, his memories are me cooking apple pie. So that was number one. Number two, I have Pretty in Plum, and I'm kicking myself. I took this out of my Scentsy club because I felt when I warmed it the first time that I didn't enjoy it, and then I found myself this mix. Or it's not that I didn't enjoy it, I just felt there were other plum scents I might like more. There was something the first time around of the black toasted coconut that threw me off. And the more times I warmed it, the more times I fell in love with it. But then I found a mix that I really, really loved. So I'm kind of kicking myself. I took this out of my Scentsy club. So, Pretty in Plum, I really love to mix with Maleficent and sweet plum pastry, and I get so many comments when I do mix that with. So you get the rich sweet plum and you get that very black toasted coconut with that. And my honourable mention has to be to Clementine Cupcake, which is new to our catalogue. It's a bakery scent I can enjoy in summer because it does have a bit of a citrus base about it, and I don't find it really heavy. So that is bakery. So moving on to juvenile scents. So I denied whether to go with this one or Berry Bright, but I ended up going with Aladdin 3 Wishes as my first juvenile scent. There's something about plum scents. I really like plum scents, but this is like a bright blueberry and plum, and it comes across almost I know in America you call it candy cotton, but here in Australia we call it fairy floss. And so you get that sweet spun kind of almost fairy floss note with that. Really, really beautiful. Number 2, pink sugarberry mint. Again, another like fairy floss candy cotton type scent, but this is more strawberry-esque than berry-esque, like than blueberry-esque. And number 3, banana, or my honorable mention has to be to banana berry. So this is just a fun banana pudding scent to me. On cold I get those hard banana lollies mixed with those strawberry, mixed with a strawberry and cream lolly. But when it's warming I get more of a banana pudding scent. Doesn't last awfully long, but when I put it in my daughter's room, there's something about my daughter's room where I can get really, really good throw and really good performance. So we're almost at 50 minutes. I've been babbling, so I do apologize. This is going to be a long video. So vanilla scents. So Pacific Sandalwood, my number 1 favorite vanilla scent. I did have the tester, it's somewhere here. I'm not going to find it again. Oh, I picked it up straight away. As I said, Pacific Sandalwood, I have described what it smells like. It is just my favorite one when it comes to vanilla scents. My second favorite vanilla scent is definitely vanilla oud. It's more earthier, more richer. And then I'm going to give an honorable mention to vanilla waves. So this is kind of the vanilla scent I would warm in summer because it does have that, again, salty sea note to it, but it smells like you're licking a fresh ice cream straight off the beach. Really, really love it. So autumn scents. Let's talk autumn. So my favorite autumn scent would have to be apple picking. So this was a harvest scent for us here in 2020 in region 3. We got a Happily Ever After collection, and apple picking was one of the scents. So this to me smells like autumn. The leaves have started to brown on the trees and they're starting to fall on the ground, and then when you tread on them you can smell that crunch as you tread on them, and you can smell that sweet earthy note of the cold autumn wind air, and then you get just the slightest smell of your apple as it's starting to brown, and the slight crunch of it. Very woodsy, very earthy, with that very almost tart sweet bite from the apple. Smells like autumn woods. So my number 2 would be and I grabbed the wrong one. I was meant to grab toasted acorn and oak, but I accidentally grabbed vanilla bourbon out of my little stash because it's kept in the same area. But number 2 is toasted acorn and oak. So for me, toasted acorn and oak, you get that nutty roasted nuts roasting on the fireside, but you also get this rich creaminess about it. I really do enjoy toasted acorn and oak. So that was number 2 for me. As I said, I picked up the wrong one. I accidentally picked up the Father's Day collection one, but that's okay. Number 3 for me, honey pear cider. Autumn and winter, I really love cider scents, and this is my last bar of honey pear cider. I am so sad. Again, I found this in the clearance section, so I never actually got a chance to put this in my Scentsy club, You can bet your bottom dollar if it ever comes back in a Bring Back My Bar, it's going into Scentsy Club by the dozen. So honey pear cider is just a sweet, decadent cider, and it's, I think, a little bit sweeter than an apple cider, to be honest with you. The pear and the honey just adds like this bit of depth, a bit of sweetness. So Jack, Halloween, let's talk our holidays. Halloween, my favorite one of all time is Jack's Obsession. Of course, another cider scent, but this, as compared to most cider scents which has a red apple in it, you can tell it's a green apple. You get that tart bite from the green apple, and then you get that soft simmering spice, adding the sweetness and depth to that. Really, really enjoy that. My number 2 scent is Halloween Town. So I really, really love this. This reminds me of a really good bottle of red wine. As you pop the cork open, you smell that sweet, dark, rich berries from the red wine, and that slight woodsy, husky note from the cork. Really, really beautiful. I will warm this all winter. Both Jack's Obsession and Halloween Town are in my Scentsy Club, as is my honourable mention, Just One Bite. So this is my red apple and spice scent, but the added molasses to me kind of gives this more of a deeper, richer, almost bakery note to it that I really, really enjoy, and can see it is very different. So let's talk spice. Now, here in Australia, spice for us, we get 1 cent in our autumn winter catalogue, and we get 1 cent, and it's the same scent in our spring summer catalogue. It doesn't change for us as a catalogue staple. We rely on most of our spice senses through our limited time only products, but I am still going to give you 3 because spice for me is one of my favourite scents, and I do kind of wish that we would get a bigger option than just 1 in our catalogue, to be honest with you. So I have 4 spice. My number 1 scent is Cranberry Pumpkin Spice. This was in our harvest collection last year. We don't get many pumpkin scents either, and this was just a really nice combination. It was more spice than anything else, but that cranberry pumpkin in it added a sweetness. And then my number 2 scent, which I don't have a bar, is coming in my 10 pack, and this is the 1 scent that we actually get in our catalogue year in and year out, is cinnamon and vanilla. I think it's just that right combination of cinnamon and vanilla that can be enjoyed all year round. It's not a heavy hitting cinnamon, so it is on the lighter side, and it's just a really beautiful mixer. And I am going to give an honourable mention to Dancing Sugar Plums. I really wish we had this scent in a wax bar here in Australia. The body wash, the Scentsy soak, the hand wash was absolutely amazing. I think that would go really, really well here in Australia because it's got that rich fruity note, but it's not overly heavily spiced. So, smoky. Let's talk about smoky. They're here in Australia. Again, we don't have many heavy smoky notes. So I kind of took away the woodsy version of smoky woodsy because we really don't get that. The only one I think we've really got has been my honourable mention one, which is the new Harry Potter collection, Gryffindor. That's kind of got that woodsy, smoky thing. So that's going to be my honourable mention. I've yet to get around warming it to give a full review of that one because I'm waiting till the weather cools down till I do that. But the other ones for my number one, I will go toasted marshmallow for smoky. And it's a very toasty, smoky marshmallow scent. And enough sweetness that is really enjoyable. And number two, I have Bonfire Beach. Again, you get that slight smoky, embery, woody note off the beach. So, masculine. Masculine's not one that I typically gravitate towards to on the whole, but I didn't pull these bars because I forgot to pull these bars when I was talking about them, but I will tell you what my three are. Number one would be Dark Side of the Force. So Dark Side of the Force, you've got that Velveta, you've got that lavender, so it's masculine but it's also deep and it's not too cologne-y, which I think is why I do quite enjoy it. Number two, I'm going to go Jade and Jasmine. This is probably the cologne-y one that I kind of would warm in other areas other than a bathroom or a laundry. For me, cologne notes do go in bathrooms and laundries, but there is a brightness from the citrus in this that I do kind of sometimes open or warm that in open concept areas. And my honourable mention is, which I did pull, White Amber Antique. This to me is kind of like a more masculine version of Cashmere and Corduroy, but it's got a little bit more of a cologne-y, masculine, woodsy, earthy note to it. Let's talk mint now, shall we? So, my number one mint scent of all time is Silver Bells. And I really don't think this is coming back in our next catalogue. We normally get this in our catalogue every Christmas catalogue, which is our spring summer catalogue, but everything's in the clearance section. I had 3 of these in my Scentsy Club coming every 3 months, and I don't think it's coming out of my Scentsy Club because I love it that much. It's just this sweet combination of candy canes and pear. It's so fresh and it's so cleansing. Number two, Olaf Warm Hugs. It's a sweet buttermint scent. I will say it's not a strong performer, but works really well in my bedroom, and that's where I tend to warm it. And I am going to give an honourable mention to Marshmallow Mint. By the time I actually warmed through my bar from Bring Back My Bar when it was available, it was no longer available to put in Scentsy Club, and I missed the boat on putting it in Scentsy Club. I warmed through completely my stash of what I had with Marshmallow Mint, but I did enjoy it while I did have it. Apple scents. Number one, Jack's Obsession, that green apple cider. I've talked about that one. Number two, Just One Bite, that red apple and spice with that beautiful bakery molasses. And my number honourable mention for apple scents is apple butter frosting. So this is just a beautiful mixer. You got the sweetness from the butter frosting and that apple and spice. I'm so glad I didn't take this out of my Scentsy Club after a old bar that I got with my Bring Back My Bar kit. When it's old, you do need to use it before it gets old, because the first scents that actually lose from this are all of it except for the butter, and what's left behind can be a rancid butter smell, which is what I got in a really old bar. But when you get them freshly poured, it is so beautiful. So that's my honourable mention. Okay, so tree scents. So, no, apple scents, tree scents. Yes, we're up to tree scents. So let's talk trees. My number one tree scent is Season of Magic. So this is just that right combination of sweet fruits, that little sugary smell, and an authentic Christmas tree pine. Number two, Black Forest and Pine. I get almost a smoky, perfumey incense when I smell Black Forest and Pine. It is a deeper, darker, sweeter pine note, but really enjoyable. And number three, I have Snow-Kissed Cranberry. So this is a sweeter tree scent as compared to other pine scents. And then that very beautiful berry note. I did end up taking this out of my Scentsy club, so this is kind of my last bar, which I have been hoarding. So, Christmas scents. My all-time favorite Christmas scent is Blue Christmas. It is just that perfect combination of Christmas tree, spices. I absolutely love it. Number two Christmas scent is Wassail Wonderland, adding that citrus spice. Absolutely perfect. That's somewhere in my stash here because I did have it as my winter fruity scent as well. And my honorable mention is Gingerbread Hugs. So this mixed with Blue Christmas to me is Christmas morning. So now we're going into St. Patrick's Day. So my number one St. Patrick's Day scent is Fearless by Nature. So this is earthy, it is woodsy, it is sweet. Really do enjoy this. No longer in my Scentsy club, but I do have quite a decent stash of that. Number two is Amazon Rain, bringing in that fresh tropical vibe. Number three, or my honorable mention, is Enchanted Woods. So this is like a soft amber. You can almost smell dew on the forest floor when you're smelling this. It is a little bit lighter than Twilight Frost, a little bit sweeter than Twilight Frost. Valentine's Day. So again, I forgot to pull one of the bars, which I do have, but my number one Valentine's bar is Petal Pals. So it's just this perfect combination of floral and marshmallow, and that's everything Valentine. Sweet and flowery. It's just what I think of when I think of Valentine's Day and smile. Showered in Flowers is my number two one. I kind of get a little bit of a fruity floral vibe from Showered in Flowers. I don't know that it actually does have fruit in it, but that's just the vibe I get when I smell Showered in Flowers. And I'm giving an honorable mention to Love Story here, because Valentine's Day is all about the season of love. So, Easter. I am saying my number one would be Cotton Candy Cookie. I don't have any of those bars. I did try it when it came out at Easter time 2 or 3 years ago. It's not one that I would club, but when you think Easter, you think fun, you think candy, you think sweet. And that's what Cotton Candy Cookie is. Number two, you can't have Easter without chocolate. So I've pulled Chocolate Coconut Cream for number two, which is basically a chocolate creamy smell. It reminds me of Easter. And then my honorable mention would be also from that original Easter collection, Candy Dandy, another sweet confectionery scent. Mother's Day. So Mother's Day I pulled with Grace. Just this beautiful, beautiful, perfumey, florally gardenia. Absolutely love it. So this one is not available in Australia. Picked up in a D stash. I've put as number 2, breakfast in bed, because what mother doesn't want breakfast in bed on Mother's Day? And I'm all about bakery scents. And number 3 was showered in flowers, which I've said to me comes across as a floral, with a little bit of a fruity note to it. Father's Day. So my number 1 choice for Father's Day is Bonfire Beach. That's just, to me, reminds me of Father's Day and celebrating Dad. Standing by the fire while Dad has some beers and a barbecue. Number 2, I have White Amber Antique, just that masculine cologne smell. And number 3, I had was Toasted Marshmallow. Again, bringing in the treats for Dad, bringing in that fireplace. Pumpkin scents. So my number 1 favorite pumpkin scent, and I'm so bummed we did not get it here in Australia and never have had it here in Australia, again picked up for me in a Facebook D-stash, is pumpkin chai. I'm all about coffee, and I kind of feel if we were given a choice here of apple or pumpkin here in Australia, I would be a pumpkin girl. Every time I smell this pumpkin scent, I smell a little bit more in love. I really do love apple and spice scents, but we just don't seem to get pumpkin scents here in Australia, and I kind of wonder if we had the option whether I would gravitate towards apple and spice scents as much as I do if I had the option of pumpkin scents. Love it. Pumpkin chai. It's my 2 favorite things rolled in one. A chai coffee scent and that sweetness from the pumpkin. Yum. My number 2 scent in my Scentsy Club. 3 thumbs up. This is just a beautiful, rich bakery scent. In love, in love, in love. And my honourable mention is Cranberry Pumpkin Spice. I stupidly took this out of my Scentsy Club thinking I had to choose, because my Scentsy Club was so big, 1 pumpkin scent, which is quite silly because pumpkin scents are rare and few here in Australia. If I was smart, I would have kept both of them in. I do believe Cranberry Pumpkin Spice is still in the clearance section though, so I may pick up a few more. Strawberry scents. Well, my number 1 strawberry scent is Strawberry Rose, of course. Can't get past that. My number 2 strawberry scent is Angel. It's like a strawberry thick shake. Again, I forgot to pull the bars for the strawberry scents. So it's just a strawberry, beautiful, thick shake. Love it. Number 3 was, or honourable mention, was Summer Moonlight. Combination of strawberry and floral. Really, really liked. So let's talk, and I thought I did pull it, but it's probably hiding somewhere amongst all this stash over here. Let's talk my favorite licensed bars. So my favorite licensed bar by far is Maleficent. It says it's got gardenia in it. I do not smell the gardenia, but I smell this really rich, bright plum and blackberry and dark berry scent, and I warm it all year round. My number 2 bar is Jack's Obsession. My number 3 bar, or my honourable mention, is Halloween Town. So my favourite limited time only collection, Island Days. I think I got 3 out of 5 of them in my Scentsy Club. I didn't put 1 in there because to me I got very similar vibes to the Light Side of the Force, which I currently do have in my Scentsy Club. And then the 5th one I found to be I enjoyed, I liked, but I wasn't in love with. but I didn't hate any of those limited time only Island Days collection. It was just the perfect bright summery scent, and I really enjoyed it. So that's my favorite limited time only, I guess, collection. And then I've gone number 2. I've gone what would be my favorite my limited time only licensed collection. So Island Days was a normal collection. My licensed one is Frozen. I still have quite a few Fearless by Nature, but I'm down to my last set of Frozen bars, which contain the North Cause and Mythic Journey. These are very cooling, aquatic, almost minty, like similar to like versions like Arctic Kiss, where you get that cooling, not so much minty, but you get that cooling fresh effect mixed with a fruit. And then you've got Born to Lead and Autumn, which are kind of more like those fruity woodsy scents. Born to Lead does have like a citrus base to it, so that's my favorite. I guess number 2 would be Frozen. And I am going to give an honorable mention, even though I've never smelt it, but I'm dying to get my hands on, if I can ever come across them, scents from the Hygge collection. I would really love to experience what that smelt like, because the Hygge collection was before my time. And finally, but not least, I do apologize, this video has gone over an hour, is Australia Day. So this is what I replaced July the 4th and Thanksgiving with. What would I warm here to celebrate Australia Day? So here in Australia, we have a dessert called pavlova. And what pavlova is, it's a meringue base where the middle's soft, the outside's crunchy meringue. So like a meringue cake. And then the meringue is topped with fresh berries and fruit. And then you drizzle on the traditional meringue anyway. And then you drizzle on the top the pulp from a passion fruit. And then you eat it with cream. Some people eat it with ice cream. But that's what a traditional meringue is. Obviously, as chefs progress and cooks, we like to do mixologies with our scents and change things up and do mix-its. Chefs do different versions and deconstructions of the pavlova. But that's what a basic traditional pavlova is here in Australia. So my number 1 scent for Australia Day would have to be mixed berry pavlova, kind of bringing in that authentic Australian dessert. So another authentic Australian dessert we have here in Australia is something called a lamington. So my number 2 would be a mix I would try and create to recreate the lamington, which is basically like a chocolate sponge with coconut on it. So I'm kind of feeling chocolate coconut cream and maybe pretty in plum. I know it does have a plum note that's not in lamington, but it's got that toasted coconut note that you get on a lamington. So I'm kind of thinking a compilation of these two might come close to a lamington. And then Anzac biscuits. Anzac biscuits is something that is quite popular here in Australia as well. So something like crumb top with a honey type scent or a maple type scent could maybe recreate an Anzac biscuit. So they would kind of be my thoughts on celebrating Australia Day. So I hope you enjoyed my favorite mixes. This has been a long video. I do apologize. There was a lot to go through. I have a lot of favorites. and I have been enjoying watching everyone's videos. I hope you're all staying safe. I'm going to go off now. Tell me some of your favorites. Until then, stay safe and bye for now.